One of the things that I don't like about filmmaking is filming at night. I feel like night scenes are the worst. I feel like they should be banned. My dislike for night scenes comes from just what they do to your sleep schedule, right? You don't shoot night scenes almost every day. I feel like if it was something I did every day, then I wouldn't mind. Then my day will be sort of set around night scenes. But night scenes suck. In today's video, we're going to be talking about filming in harsh conditions, lessons learned, things I wish I knew before doing it, and things that can be done better. So one of the main things is, if you know me well, if we've worked together, you know I don't like night scenes. I hate them. They suck. Like, don't call me. If anything, please avoid me. But I need work, and I will gladly do them because it's part of my job. The main thing that makes me dislike night scenes is basically what they do to my sleep schedule.
Went to work 5:30 cold time. Just finished that at 5:48. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's 6:10.
But one reason everybody loves night scenes and why they're recommended is how much control you have and how much you can control light. So as soon as the sun goes down, because the sun is a finicky source of light, it moves throughout the day, and the reflections and reactions to it are quite different. So in some instances, you have to keep moving around your set, especially if you want to backlight your people with the sun. But I prefer dancing around with the sun, which allows me to go home around 6 p.m. than starting work at 6 p.m. and finishing at 6 a.m. But some people love it. And the main reason, like I said, is because during a night shoot, you can control the light. You determine where it's coming from. You're going to have one source. Unless it's a full moon day, but even then, you're just making sure that you're filming from where you want, right? And you control that. And another benefit of filming at night is especially for sound. There's less traffic, there's less people moving, there's less bogeys, which are random humans on set. There's less of that at night, which is a benefit, and which is something that I respect for people who do it. But I often feel like it's tiring. The crew is never, like, the work is never up to par compared to during the day. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And then on top of that, I live in a city called Vancouver, where it almost rains throughout the year, but this year it hasn't done so. It started raining lately, and I had a shoot where we had to film at night, and it rained. And I was quite prepared for the night shoot. I wasn't quite prepared for the rain. It's something that was tentative, where it was like, it might rain, let's think about it. But the more you think about rain, it's like, what really can you do, in terms of lighting, in terms of equipment? One of the challenges that you have, especially on low budget productions, is you don't really have the adequate equipment that you need to work with such conditions. For example, when it came to lighting, like connecting lights to power sources, right? It's like, how do you do that safely without putting people at the risk of getting shocked? So now you need special wiring to be able to do that, which is an extra cost on top of whatever you're already having. So for me, that was a major challenge: safety. Like, how do we do this safely? How do we light this scene safely? And also, how do we make sure that the equipment we have doesn't get water damage? It's one thing for equipment to say it's waterproof, but I don't want to test that. I want to find out on my equipment. I want to find out on my camera if the weather seal actually means, it's weatherproof. And another challenge is with our cinema cameras is you have to constantly connect cables to your camera to other things in order to make it function and work. So the key question is, how weather sealable is that? And now you have to find covers for the camera, and which limits a lot of times your movement with the camera in terms of the things that you can do. So those are some of the challenges that the rain night shoot possessed for us. I'll say there was a lot, like in terms of light positioning, where ideally you'd like to position lights in a sense of they're coming from, you want to backlight the shot, but you can't really backlight because it's raining. So now you have to front light it, because you can put your lights within the shade, and that allows you to illuminate. And then we have to film people in the rain. Another challenge that you have filming in the rain is, because we are filming at 24 frames per second and tiny raindrops are falling, we can't really see them. We can just see people getting wet, but we can't really tell what the hell is going on. And also, that day that we had was the rain was coming in and out, and it was just weird. So it's like you have moments where one scene is dry, and then the next minute it's raining. So those are some of the challenges. Things that I learned is you want to find ways to weatherproof your gear, like especially lights. You want to find ways, if it's having umbrellas, if it's having plastic around the light. I think that is beneficial. You want to find shade to put the lights from, and then just beam light sources from there. I think that'll be beneficial as well. But a critical thing, like I said, is safety when it comes to these things, man. Like you really want to think about your crew and cast and how to protect people from damage. Like it's pointless if someone gets electrocuted and you have to cancel the shoot. It's like, why were we here? But also you don't want your equipment to get damaged, so like really preparing for that is critical. I would say for me, I definitely avoid playing against the weather, because the weather always wins. But one key takeaway that I took away from it is, as a filmmaker, you have one job, as a cinematographer / director or whatever you are, and that is problem solving. Here's a problem, here's a situation. It's how do we solve it, and how do we stay in the game to achieve what we set out to achieve. I think sometimes walking away is also a solution, and coming back, living to find another day. But if there are ways to do so that we mitigate those issues, because a lot of times, time is money. You have a location, maybe you can only have it for that time period, and you gotta get the shots that you gotta get. Then you have to come up with solutions, and you have to see things. For me, I faced a lot of challenges, but sometimes it's about letting go of the things that you showed up with, because part of what I wanted to do with the film was I wanted to backlight it a lot, but I couldn't. I had to front light it, and whilst I didn't like it, then you have to start looking for ways of like, okay, how do I make this image work? And that's where creativity, composition, and things like that come into play. And then you doing the best that you can within the resources and time period that you are in. But I'll reiterate, for if you're gonna be filming in the rain, please protect yourself, protect your crew, make sure your gear is weather protected, and also you always, there's equipment out there that you can use in terms of in the rain. Another critical thing that I learned was it's very important to communicate on such days, because you don't want to work by yourself. You want to work with your team, and you guys have to be in communication with what are people comfortable with and how much can we push. A thing that happens with night shoots a lot, like I said, people get tired, people want to sleep, people want to do this. They're fun to plan for, they're fun to prepare, but you have to enter them with that realistic expectation of what's going to happen. A lot of people will get tired around 3 a.m. People are done, and it's tough to ask people to push further, and you just have to gauge that and see what's happening. Another thing, a lesson is when you're done with a night shoot, if you feel tired and it's possible to just sleep in your car for 2-3 hours, I feel like I recommend that. Just take time, rest, and then once you have energy, pick up and drive home, because a lot of bad things can happen on your way home on a tired body, and just because of the work that we do on set, especially as a cinematographer, where if you're the camera operator, you're carrying this camera, you're super tired, man. Just take time to rest in your car. If the location allows you, rest in the location until you feel you have the energy and are aware of what you're doing, and then drive off. Because the thing that happens is when you're tired and you're on the road, it's more than just you on the road. There's a lot of people on the road that you affect with your driving, and if you sleep on the road, that can cause something so bad, and we don't want that. So I just recommend for you guys, if you ever do these things, is take time, rest, and then once you have the energy, go with your journey. I joke a lot, like I don't like night shoots and stuff like that, just because of that fact of like how it just messes up your schedule. But sometimes you have to do it, and that's just the job. Sometimes you have to do the job. Like, whilst I love cinematography, and I think that it is you get to be creative, you get to do the things that you love, it's also just a job, and you have to do what you have to do. People can work graveyard shifts. We get to do night shoots once or twice in a period of time. Do it. My advice is always trying to have a big light. I know people always say they use the Sony FX3 for the creator, but when you're looking at the creator and the amount of lights that they had for their night scenes. You know, you're looking at aperture 1200Ds, you're looking at MCs just being sprinkled around to create a light source, you know, that people can actually see. So when you're doing a night, you should always think about the background, always think about what's not in focus, because that's where the human eye, that's how far we go. When we're outside, we can almost see, just because of street lights and the moon and cars and stuff like that. We have a wide range of view. So when we're watching a film, you want to think about those things, about the spaces that are not in frame and how you're going to light them. I would say always get one big light source. You know, I know in Hollywood they always have like an 18K or two of them, and that just illuminates the whole thing and gives you an ambience. And then you use your smaller lights to light your scene and create the mood that you need. Other than that, man, let me know in the comment section if you have any tips for filming in the rain, filming at night. I'm not a big fan, but when push comes to shove, you know we got it.
Just finished the 9 to 5. Finished the 9 to 5, did a 5 to 5. Now about to start another 9 to 5 just to do another 5 to 5. We keep working, we keep grinding.